Alright, it is Blu-ray update time. This is for November of 2016. This is a bit of a mishmash, I feel like. There's 3 titles in here that I'm super excited about. I was almost going to make a whole video just on these 3, which are 3 new Criterions that I've got that are Japanese films. I was going to do a kind of a touch of film inspired Japanese Criterion Blu-ray update, but I figured I'd throw in the things I had picked up over the past month or so, just bits and pieces. And first of all, I'm going to show you the, I think, 7 Blu-rays that I got for Connie for our 7-year anniversary last month. First of all, I got a couple of steelbooks of films that she really likes, and she was very excited about it, and she really liked the steelbooks as well, funnily enough, believe it or not. Jurassic Park 3. Now, I hadn't seen this since it was out in the cinemas. So it had been 15 years since I'd revisited Jurassic Park 3. We watched it a couple of weeks ago, and it's a pretty good film. You know, it's kind of unmemorable in a lot of ways, and it just doesn't really stack up with the rest of the series, even Jurassic World to me. But it is a pretty good film. I did enjoy it. You know, it just feels light when it comes to the rest of the series. But yeah, I enjoyed revisiting this, and I'm glad that Connie enjoyed receiving it as a gift. It's always a bit like The Simpsons with Homer giving Marge a bowling ball with his name on it for as a present whenever I give Connie a Blu-ray for a present. But I mean, you know, she enjoys watching these, and especially the special features, because the other steelbook I got her was The Lost World. She was most excited about this one because she loves this film. Like, we watch it quite a lot, and whenever we do, she's always finishing the lines before they happen, and I'm thinking, hang on. When I was a kid, I used to watch this film on VHS so many times that I would literally, for some strange reason, leave the tape running, go riding around the neighborhood and come back just to see at what point is the film at now, because I'd watched it that many times. I was just trying to spice it up for myself. And she somehow knows this film better than I do. And we watched all the special features on this and on Jurassic Park 3. Actually, no, we watched all the new special features, not the archival ones from the time of the film's making. But there was a series of new documentaries produced called Return to Jurassic Park when the trilogy was released on Blu-ray, and they're top-notch. They're really, really good. And my favorite part on this one was behind the scenes of Steven Spielberg directing Richard Attenborough in his small cameo appearance in the second Jurassic Park film. And Steven Spielberg says to him, "Can you just say to me, just one last time, can you just say, 'Welcome to Jurassic Park'? I just need you to say it." And he goes, "Welcome to Jurassic Park." And he's like, "Oh, I just needed to hear it one more time." And that to me was really sweet to see, especially now, you know, a few years removed from the passing of Richard Attenborough. But great film, and a great couple of steelbooks from Zavvi, really nice embossing on the titles and stuff. There was one for the original Jurassic Park, but it's way out of print. But I have a steelbook of the original, so it kind of goes with my collection, even though it's a gift for Connie. Anyway, the other 5 I got were, because Connie is studying digital animation, I wanted to get her some Blu-rays that she could watch in the best possible quality, just to get some inspiration and things like that. Well, one of them not so much. And the first one is Despicable Me. You know, standard. What can you really say? It's a good film. I don't love it, but Connie is a big fan of it. This one I love. We both love this film. Puss in Boots. So entertaining, so funny, and the animation is fantastic. So that'll be one for her to watch and kind of hopefully gain some inspiration from. This one was just going so cheap that I thought I'd pick it up for her. Frankenweenie. I haven't even seen this film, so I have no opinion on it, but she was happy to receive it. But this was the main event, actually, and this was the one that I really had in mind to give her as a gift, to kind of to supplement the studying that she's doing right now, and it is the Pixar Short Films Collection, Volume 1, and then also the Pixar Short Films Collection, Volume 2. And what these kind of have is a complete history, almost, of the evolution of Pixar and the evolution of digital animation in general, because I think the first ones go back to the 80s. Yeah, it has Tin Toy on there, so I mean, you know, the first volume really goes back pre-Toy Story, to where Pixar were really innovating with this digital CGI animation. And then when we go to the volume 2, we have some of the more recent ones, like the Toy Story offshoots, things like that. So she was really, really excited about these 2, and we're probably going to sit through these and watch them together. And yeah, so that was some things I got for Connie for our anniversary. Now, I think there are a handful of things here before we get to the Criterions. This one is an Arrow Video release that I was really excited about because I'd never heard of it, and it's by one of my favorite directors. And usually when I I kind of get a favorite director, I will go all in, I'll go down the rabbit hole of Wikipedia, Internet Movie Database, and I'll look at all the films they've done, if I've seen them, if I'm interested in them. And this one just slipped completely under the radar for me, and when Our Video announced they were releasing it, I was like, holy shit, that's a film by Joe Dante? Matinee, and I believe this is kind of a love letter to his huge passion for the kind of science fiction horror films of the 1950s. Stars John Goodman, and I'm really excited to check it out. I just need to find the right day to be in the right mood to sit down and check it out. I don't think I even looked at the inside, the alternate artwork, but it's a very nice release from Arrow Video. And yeah, I love Joe Dante. You know, The Burbs, one of my favorite films. Gremlins, which we rewatched actually. We checked out Gremlins about a week ago, and I've forgotten how good that film was. I mean, it was a childhood favorite, but I hadn't seen it in many years, and to watch it on Blu-ray again, I forgot just how good and how crazy Gremlins is. There's the alternate artwork. That's a really cool original poster there with John Goodman. Yeah, it sounds really fun to me, the concept of this, and just knowing how much Joe Dante loves the 50s, and it says October 1962 here, so I mean 50s, 60s, kind of, you know, I mean you can see from here, you know, just kind of the big monster movies of that kind of period of Hollywood. I know Joe Dante's a big fan of that stuff, and so I'm sure he put a lot of love into the creation of this, so I'm sure it'll show on screen once I check it out. This one, this is a triple dip. Yeah, and I was really annoyed about this because it went up on Amazon for like £20, and I thought, I know I'm going to get it, but I'll wait just a little bit. And then suddenly it went down to £13. I was like, holy shit, I've got to get it. And then I missed it, and it went back up to £20. I was like, oh, for God's sake. And then I was just out shopping, you know, here in Norway, and I just saw it in the shop, and I was like, oh, wow, they're selling it here. And the title is English and everything. In fact, it's exactly like the one that I would get from Amazon UK, and it wasn't that much more expensive, so I thought I'll just pick it up. So I picked it up in store, which is a rarity these days. Star Wars The Force Awakens 3D, which I'll never be watching, ever. But it is the collector's edition. I love this cover with Rey holding up the blue lightsaber and the snowy forest in the background. Nice kind of lenticular effect. Nothing incredible, but it's a nice kind of deluxe feeling set. Connie pointed out, and I hate her for this, she's like, that's off-center. And I was like, what are you talking about? This here, the collector's edition, is slightly off level, which will bug me forever. I don't know if all the sets are like this, but yeah, I looked through every set in the store, because a lot of them have big deep scratches along the lenticular thing here, so I got a really good copy, but that's off center. Anyway, I mean, you've seen it all by now, I'm sure, but just for the sake of, you know, lengthening the video a little bit more, this is just a gorgeous release, absolutely gorgeous. I love the artwork. That was another selling point, that it was really nice deluxe packaging. And also we have another disc. Well, not another. Well, I guess the original release had another disc, but we have more bonus features on the second disc now, which is kind of bullshit. One of the discs is already out there because we've been watching the commentary and listening to it. Fantastic release, but yeah, it is absolute bullshit, because once I loaded this up, the second disc with the new special features, I realized that this is exactly the same as the original release. They must have authored two different versions when they first put this Blu-ray together and thought, let's just leave that for a few months and double dip it down the line, because everything's the same, the menu's the same. I mean, they've just added in the new things, and so, you know, it really is a cash grab. But by God, we're Star Wars fans, and we're going to just pour money into the pockets of Lucasfilm and now Disney, because that's the way we are, as Star Wars fans. And I'm going to review this in depth, because I've watched all the special features now, I've listened to the commentary. I'm actually listening to the commentary for a second time with Connie, because I enjoyed it that much. I'll be doing a review of this as part of the Road to Episode 8 series. But I'm happy I picked it up. I really am. I don't feel like it was money wasted, because I'm such a huge fan of that film. And getting to see the new special features, a couple of new deleted scenes, and the whole commentary, which didn't disappoint, I'm happy with it. Finally, before we get to the Criterions, I should say, finally, I have two releases here from a new label in the UK. And this is Spy number 1 and 2 from the collection. I'm not sure what they're calling themselves, because there's a thread on the Blu-ray.com forums. It's either Indicator or Powerhouse. And I'm pretty sure that Powerhouse are the people who put this together, and they're calling the line of this collection Indicator. Anyway, we have spine number 1, John Carpenter's Christine, and they're in these Criterion style cases, which is very cool. They obviously know what they're doing in terms of appealing to collectors. I've never seen this film, but I'm a huge fan of John Carpenter. I know this isn't considered one of his greatest films, but anything that's John Carpenter related, I'm all over it. And they've just announced that in January, I think, or February, they're going to be releasing John Carpenter's Ghost of Mars, and also John Carpenter's Vampires, which I've seen Ghost of Mars, but not Vampires, and I'll probably be picking both of those up because, again, much like our video, Massive Cinema in the UK, we have really nice releases with the booklet, reversible artwork, although the artwork is the same, it just doesn't have the color bars at the top, so you can kind of pick and choose what you want. But yeah, really nice artwork, loads of special features that have been ported over the booklet, you know, the typical thing. And then spine number 2, Body Double, Brian De Palma. I'm a huge Brian De Palma fan. I've loved every film of his that I've seen, and this one I've kind of heard about and kind of seen snippets of on TV, never fully seen it, so I'm looking forward to diving into this kind of sensual thriller by the looks of it. Lots of special features, as can be expected. Wow, that's quite a garish image on the booklet there, but I'm excited for this one. I really am. Big Brian De Palma fan. His career has been so interesting, but every stage of it I've enjoyed. You know, I've seen films from his from like the 70s and then up to the, you know, I think the 90s and things like that. So very much looking forward to checking this out once I feel like it. There's so many films, as us collectors know, where we just need to be in the mood for it. Now, the main event, the 3 Japanese Criterions. The Barnes & Noble sale has happened again. It's passed. It took place in November, where everyone flocks to barnesandnoble.com to kind of get their cheap Criterions in, even though it's not really cheap. And if you're interested in the Criterion collection, I recommend you check out my friend CP's video. He just put up his complete Criterion collection video, I think yesterday or the day before. I'll link that in the description down below. If you haven't seen his channel, Will I Like It Reviews, I will put a link to that, and he goes through his entire Criterion collection, and it's an interesting video. I recommend you check it out. So I didn't really plan this, but it just so happened that over the past month I've gotten 3 Criterions that were all Japanese films, and one of them is from the Barnes & Noble sale, but they're all kind of discounted prices, and I'll get to each one as it comes, because there's a story behind each of these. The first one is from a director who I'm a huge fan of. I've seen 2 of his films, or 4 technically, and each of them have blown me away equally. And this one I've heard good things about. I don't know if it's quite as good as the other films, but I'm very much excited about it. And I saw it on Amazon for $19.99, which is how much standard Criterions are on Barnes & Noble when the 50 off sale is on. Sometimes on Amazon you will see a Criterion drop to about $20, and I just thought, holy shit, that's going for $20, and I bought it instantly, no questions asked. That was a film I definitely wanted to pick up for $20, and it is Masaki Kobayashi's Kaidan, which is, I believe, some kind of like an anthology film with some spooky stories in there. It's a long one. It's 3 hours long. And what does it say here? Featuring colourfully surreal sets and luminous cinematography, these haunting tales of demonic comeuppance and spiritual trials are existentially frightening and meticulously crafted. So yeah, this version of Kaidan is the original 3-hour cut, never before released in the United States. A new 2K digital restoration. There's a commentary, an interview with Kobayashi from 1993, interview with the assistant director. Some good stuff. I love the cover art. It really, I mean, you can say that about most Criterion releases, but a really nice cover art there, and a nice theme that continues over to the booklet and the disc. Really excited about this. It'll be the first Kobayashi film I've seen that's in color. The other 2 being, of course, The Human Condition, which is one of the greatest films of all time, and then Harakiri, which is just stunning. So yeah, really excited about this one, and very happy to own it as well. The next one, you can't have a Japanese Criterion Blu-ray up there without including Akira Kurosawa, right? So this is another Kurosawa title, and this one is directly from barnesandnoble.com. And interestingly enough, I mean, this turned up in like this perfect kind of cardboard package. There was no way this was going to get damaged whatsoever. But there's a little tear on the spine, and it goes through the plastic to the sleeve, which really bugs me, because it's like a standard plastic case. There's no way it can get damaged, and it's damaged before, you know, it even got to the package. Anyway, it's not too much of a big deal, and I'm a huge fan of this film. Glad to add it to my Criterion collection, to my Blu-ray collection. I'd seen it, I think, in 2012 when I did my Akira Kurosawa Appreciation Night community event, where people in the YouTube movie community made videos spending a night watching a few Kurosawa films, and this is one of the ones I picked. I loved it. I'm looking forward to revisiting it. It is Ikiru, To Live. It's a very, very good film, and I love the cover artwork. As a font nerd, I love the font of the title as well. When they announced this film, I thought, oh great, they're releasing Ikiru. Then I looked at the cover and thought, oh man, they nailed the font. I mean, just even on the spine, love it, absolutely love it. It sounds weird to get excited about a font, but I just think it's just perfect. And that image, again, I mean, that's an interesting thing, because here with Kaidan you have this, obviously they've created this artwork, and it's beautiful, and well, I don't know if it fits because I haven't seen the film, but it's beautiful, and it seems to be fitting to what this film is about, and kind of evokes the feeling of it. Whereas this is just a still, just a straight up still from the movie with the title of the film, and it works beautifully. Sometimes that's all you need. And with a film as simple and as beautiful as this, I think that's the perfect way to go. This is from a 4K digital transfer, and again, you know, you get the booklet and things like that. Very, 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 very excited to own this, because it is one step further to completing my Kurosawa collection within the Criterion collection. I think all I need now are Throne of Blood, the Yojimbo Sanjiro double pack, and there's only one more, Kagemusha. I think those are the only ones I need to complete the collection. Oh, and of course Akira Kurosawa's Dreams, which just came out in November in the UK as well, no less. So I'll be picking that up around Christmas time. Can't wait for that one. The special features on that one sound amazing. This has an audio commentary. It has a 90-minute documentary called A Message from Akira Kurosawa for Beautiful Movies. There is a 2003 documentary on the film Ikiru, and some interviews, and yeah, all sorts of good stuff. It has an interview with Takashi Shimura, who is the lead actor in the film, one of my favorite actors of all time. So there you go. These two couldn't be happier about. And now we get onto the final release, which is probably not going to be a film or films that are as good as the two I just showed to you, but this set, and it is a set, it's a little box set. I've had quite a history with this. It was announced about 3 or 4 months ago, I guess, and it went up on pre-order for Amazon. I thought, oh cool, I've really wanted to see those films for years. At least since like 2011, I read about these films. I first got into Japanese cinema. I watched Seven Samurai. I was like, oh my god. I went out, bought a book on Japanese cinema, heard about these films, wanting to see them, but was waiting for kind of a good Blu-ray release for them, and it just never really seemed to happen. And then Criterion announced it a few months ago. I was like, perfect, I got to get that at some point. Obviously, you know, there's so many films in the series that it's going to be a big, expensive box set. Amazon put up the pre-order, Amazon US, $39.99. I thought, what the hell is going on here? I mean, we're talking 6 films here. There's no way a Criterion Collection Blu-ray is going to be, you know, a recommended retail price of $40 with 6 films. So I just clicked pre-order, and that's the beauty of Amazon. You can just kind of sit on a pre-order, they won't charge you until it gets sent out. And I thought, let's just sit back and see what happens here, you know. And loads of people jumped on it, and then of course it was changed, and the price went up to like $80, $100, which is more in line with what you'd expect with 6 films, Criterion, Blu-ray format. But you know, the orders were getting honoured, and people were getting theirs shipped out and stuff. And I was thinking, do I go with it or not? Because $40 still is just over the amount where if I order something into Norway, I'll get kind of tolled, I'll get taxed. If you order anything over around £30–35, they charge you in Norway, which sucks, and kind of really limits what I can kind of buy sometimes. I can't kind of do bulk orders and things like that. And I just thought, let's just risk it, because if I can get this for like $40, it's so cheap. You know, I think that's less than half price on what you get from Barnes & Noble. I think Barnes & Noble with the 50 off was selling this for $50. So I just thought, screw it, I'll pay the toll, let's do it. I sat on the pre-order, it got shipped out, I got charged, there we go. A week passes, nothing. 2 weeks pass, nothing. And I believe now it's been 3 weeks, and also, it's a long story but I need to go into it. Also, I was imagining for some reason that it would be in a standard Criterion case like this, with probably 3 discs, two movies per disc. But it turns out, they announced that the packaging was this gorgeous kind of cardboard digipack slipcover that would be very easily damaged in transit. And I know that Amazon US will send out internationally in jiffy envelopes. Yeah, so I've been kind of quietly shitting myself for the past 3 weeks, and I just was starting to give up hope that this thing was ever going to turn up. It turned up this morning. I couldn't believe it. One, they didn't tell me. They didn't charge me for the tax. I don't know what happened. I don't know whether $39.99 is just underneath the Norwegian limit of 350 krona, and they didn't include the shipping. Because sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. There's no real set kind of rules. So I got away with that for a start. And I thought, holy shit. But then I looked at the packaging and it was rattling around in this flimsy envelope, and I was just like, this is gonna be bent and kind of frayed and torn. And I opened it, I had a look at it, and couldn't believe my luck. Lone Wolf and Cub. That's probably the longest intro I've ever done before showing a Blu-ray in an update. You're welcome. Lone Wolf and Cub. I am absolutely over the moon with this. I am so happy to have this in my collection and to have got it for such a cheap price, to have not been told for it, and that it is in perfect condition, pretty much perfect condition. Once I unwrapped the cellophane, I could start to see there's a few dents and dings around the edges, but it really is not noticeable. And I'm just so ecstatic about this. It's 6 films released between, I think, 1972 and 1974. I think that's the case. Yeah, and basically it follows this, the Shogun's executioner, who gets kind of, I guess he gets exiled from the, he takes to wandering the countryside as an assassin with his infant son, and I believe there's some kind of scandal or something, and he gets released from his position as the Shogun's executioner, and he goes off and lives his life as an assassin with his baby son. I believe this is also known as the Baby Cart series. It has a couple of different titles, but Lone Wolf and Cub is what they're going with this Criterion collection. It was also based on the 1970, I believe, manga, which was hugely successful, and I'd like to read that at some point, but I've never seen these films. I've been waiting for the Blu-ray release. Another thing that really excited me about this is that they included the 1980, I believe, yes, I was right, the 1980 American re-edit of a few of these films called Shogun Assassin, which I'd heard of through the Quentin Tarantino film Kill Bill Volume 2. And while I'm certainly not going to be rushing to see the American, redub, re-edit, whatever you want to call it, I love that they included it and licensed it and made this a complete package. And there's also, a making of there. I believe there's an interview with the writer of the manga. Let me just check. I think so. Let me see. Yes, the writer of the manga and the screenwriter of 5 of the films. There's an interview with him, a new interview. 2005 documentary on the making of this series, and more interviews. And then finally, this really intrigued me. There's a new, well, not new, it's pretty old, but it's being included on this, a silent documentary from 1937 about the making of samurai swords. I mean, if there's anything that ticks all my boxes, it's a silent film. It's about, samurai swords, and it's Japanese. I'm all in. Like, that just sounds amazing to me. I can't wait for that. And the series itself, I mean, this release, I mean, the artwork is just absolutely stunning. I love this. I just love the packaging. I love Criterion. And it's so great now that I've finished my Masters of Cinema, 1 through 100 spines collection, because I can kind of calm down on buying the Masters of Cinema now and kind of focus on things like Criterion, which I used to love collecting, but I stopped doing over the past few years. And I think in 2016 I probably doubled my existing Criterion collection. So this comes out. This is kind of the outer slip box there, and this comes out. It's a kind of a nice little digipack here, and just look at that, just absolutely stunning artwork. Holding this very carefully, and then you open it up and you have the discs inside and a nice thick booklet. Here are the 3 discs. So it was 3 discs like I thought, but yeah, and I'm certainly glad now that they went for this really nice packaging. And it's just the booklet, man, just it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. It has information about all the films and things like that, and probably about the transfers as well. So the first film is Lone Wolf and Cub, Sword of Vengeance. The second film is Lone Wolf and Cub, Baby Cart and At the River Styx. Get a bit tongue-tied. Lone Wolf and Cub, Baby Cart to Hades. Lone Wolf and Cub, Baby Cart in Peril. So you can see why some people call this the Baby Cart series. Lone Wolf and Cub, Baby Cart in the Land of the Demons. And then finally we have Lone Wolf and Cub, White Heaven in Hell. And there's a very interesting image there in a snowy setting that looks very cool with the red. So I love the way they've laid out this and kind of given each film a nice kind of double spread with information, credits and things like that. Yeah, there's all notes on the transfer and stuff like that. So it's just a absolutely stunning release. I can only hope that I enjoy the films now, which I'm sure I will, because I know what I'm getting myself in for. It's certainly not going to be on the level of a Kurosawa film, but I'm certainly hoping for an entertaining series of movies. And I'm always intrigued when there's a series of films that's more than like a trilogy or something, because these all came out fairly quickly. I think the first 3 films came out in the first year, 1972. So the turnaround was pretty quick. And I don't know if it covers the entire story of the manga, and if they've done that, or whether it's, adapts only a portion of it. I don't know any of those details. But what I'm actually planning to do, and I'm hoping to do this tomorrow, is I'm going to marathon all 6 films over one day. And then I'll know what I think of them. So I'll probably do a video about that. I'll probably do more of a movie vlog video where I kind of casually sit down and watch all of these and give my brief opinion, so not marathon style where I sit down and review every film. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to delving into these films in particular, just because of the whole thing that I went through with it, not knowing whether I'd get it, not knowing whether I'd have to pay over the odds for it, not knowing whether it would be damaged to hell when it arrived. So yeah, there we go. That has been my Blu-ray update for November 2016. The next Blu-ray update is going to be incredible. There's some really cool titles I'm going to be able to show you next time, because I already know 2 of the things I'm getting for Christmas already, and they're huge. I can't wait. And yeah, I don't know whether I'll be able to do a kind of a Christmas Blu-ray update like I usually do every year. We'll see what happens. But let me know what you guys have been picking up. Let me know if you've picked up any Criterions recently. Obviously with them being released in the UK now as well, that they're more readily available to people. So there's that. If you've been picking up any of the UK Criterions, which have recently gone down in price on Amazon, let me know. And if you have any opinions on any of the films I've just shown and talked about, of course let me know about that as well. And I'll see you in the next video.
So you might say he's a really nice guy, really, but if fucking don't cut shit with me. He says he's really cool, but I think he's a tool.